Hello, and today we are gonna look at DEUTSCH parody song goes viral hailing Germany's liberal values. And then there was this German comedian Jan Böhmermann, and because I also do stand-up comedy and I would like to discuss these kind of ideas and ideologies in my stand-up comedy, I find this very interesting. So there is that he did this DEUTSCH Be Nice parody song that I will leave a link below so you can watch yourself and think about what you want. And I think it's a fucking ingenious song because it can be parody, it can be satirical, or maybe not. Because if you have crazy ideological beliefs, then it's kind of a rule that you can't parody that type of mentality and thinking without another person thinking that it's for real. So I myself basically base for the idea that I think somehow like if he's a stand-up comedian, then it would be kinda, I think, more safe to assume that if you would like to make fun of something, you would kind of take upon yourself that perspective and then make jokes from that. You can see many stand-up comedians that kind of, for example, take the perspective of a fat guy, or take the perspective of a like Sami Hedberg, or take the perspective of for example, a stupid blonde like some Finnish female comedians, or then maybe they take the perspective of for example somehow a little bit stupid guy like for example Ismo Leikola. I think that is very good idea how to parody works. So you pretend to be something you are probably not, or not exactly at least, and then it's funny. But it could be that this is totally like straight face. There is nothing inherently to suggest that this is a parody, except maybe that it's done in a style of Rammstein, done in the style of this very authoritarian, attacking music style, which I think is actually very, very appropriate, and I will tell you why. And also, like in the end, basically there is this we are Germany, not you, we, and some laughing here. So I think that could be kind of like that. It's laughing that it joke on you. You don't actually hold the political power. We hold the political power. This is now the way that the only political view that is okay, that is politically correct. So let's look at the lyrics a little bit, because I think it's very interesting to see like. I think this really shows the cultural Marxist ideologies at work and the basic pillars of how they think. So let's see now. I don't actually remember Night of November. I don't know what this has to do with anything, but I have to ask now. Please leave it in the comment if you know if in 9th of November last year, this year, next year before, if there was any like maybe some agreement, some political agreement, or some law or something. Is there some relevance 9th of November to Germany? If someone can explain, Robin, if you can explain, if Niklas, you can explain, then please leave a comment below. But I don't know actually the meaning of this, but wake up Deutschland, sleeping beauty, can you hear your call of duty? So this is basically like kind of mirroring on the idea that the call of duty for German people was the bad things they did at the Second World War and First World War. So now they have to hear the call of duty against, because world has gone completely nuts and the German is only thing that can save our society. And this is actually interesting. Authoritarian nationalist dork, so tough with your torches and pitchforks. You are not the people, you are the past. The true Germans come for you, better run fast. And there is even this attack dogs and stuff for people who want to put up fences and make borders so that people can't go over borders in the nations and such. So the idea here is what cultural Marxists believe is that you oppressive shit lord, you have money, you are in the Western world, developed world, you have to carry the burden of the world and take as much outside immigrants as you can and as you can sustain, because that's the human thing to do. And if you disagree with this at all, then you are this authoritarian nationalist dork. We want to be inclusive for everyone, but these authoritarian nationalist dorks, they are not even human. They are not even human. They are horrible people, and they are so this that you kind of demonize the other side. You demonize everyone who thinks differently than you, and then basically their stuff just that they are like normal people, and then how multiculturalism shows when you are munching on kebab and muesli at the same time and such stuff. And like this is very interesting because here are, we are xenophobic's biggest fear. You call for strong leaders for vengeance and falls, but being like us takes bigger balls. This is not correct. There are even blogs in the internet that if you are racist, hiring racist, people will call your boss and get you fired for whatever work you do if you say or do racist stuff. But like if you say that, oh, we should be inclusive, we should take as much immigrants as humanly possible and just open borders, and if they even do some bad stuff in our society, then we have to kind of ignore it. Let's have Sharia courts in parks in Germany. Let's have Sharia police there, just and everything. Let's have Sharia courts in mosques and stuff like that. And that's just their cultural. We shouldn't be xenophobic, and we should understand their different culture. And basically this double standard that if you are a Deutsch person, then obey the law, fucking obey the law. All the laws include you. All the laws are you have to obey them. But if you are from somewhere, if you don't identify with the Deutsch nationalist Deutsch people, then you can do whatever. So for example, we had this Angela Merkel accepts Turkish request to seek prosecution for German comedian. So this comedian we saw here, Can Boherman, is accused of insulting Turkish president on German television. I can't pronounce the name, I'm sorry. But the idea is that there was some leftover rule in German law, and they would scrap it after this. So by 2018 they tried to scrap this rarely enforced section 103, the criminal code, insulting representatives of foreign states as a result of an embarrassing affair. So basically in Germany, because of First and Second World War, there are a lot of laws that are very strict about kind of this authoritarian, totalitarian things that basically, for example, it is at the moment criminal to insult representatives of foreign states, and they kinda are in a bind now because they have to kinda prosecute this stand-up comedian that did this DEUTSCH song, because he said in German television that this Turkish politician has a small tail, which is in Germany it means that has a small dick. So even if they have freedom of speech, if they even have freedom of kind of humor or whatever, then they have this old remnant of law that now they have to prosecute this stand-up comedian, even though I would 100% as a stand-up comedian myself that if you kind of parodize political views, or basically if your stand-up comedy is political satire, then you should be able to, like, I can't go into stand-up and say that you will, you know, like some random, like John Smith, for example, some random guy, like that you are a rapist and you are a criminal. I can't say it. That's defamation. If you are listening then and I say this, then fuck whatever. So that's bad. Like I'm basically saying stuff that you can prosecute me because I'm actually offending someone personally, someone who is not a public figure, so to speak, not popular. But if I say the same thing about some famous politician, or I say the same thing about, for example, some popular, for example, famous person, then that can be satire. That can be totally satire. Like, for example, here he said that this Turkish premier is a code fucker and also shows Mr. Erdogan watches child porn while kicking Kurds. So, yes, the child porn is a very offensive statement, but while kicking Kurds, the stand-up comedian kinda relates this to some political happening that had happened, the accusation that he's persecuting the Kurdish minorities in his country. So that makes it okay. That actually the context makes it totally okay because of it's a political satire. But that's just my idea. You have to tell me if he decides he needs to go to jail or whatever. But like, I think even this song kinda could maybe have something to do with this whole thing, because maybe this hits too close to Angelina Merkel. Maybe he feels that he's described in this song, and I don't know, probably not, but like I find it very funny that this happened at the same time. And this is also interesting. Like I said, for example, in the news that I did about white babies being racist. So we are proud of not being proud. So one of the pillars of cultural Marxism is this, that you should not be proud of being white. You should not be proud of being German. You should not be proud of being Finnish, European, whatever. Because we've oppressed the Western civilized people white people have oppressed these minorities and women so long and whatever. So that the proudness comes for not being proud, that we've learned our lessons and now we I think these maniacs with wicked hair, it's very interesting in the music video. I can't show it because copyright claims, but like there are some people here and I don't think they maybe are feminist, but if you say maniacs with wicked hair, then in my mind it's feminists. But feminists also believe in these cultural Marxism ideas. And like I think this is like this is something that is happening in Europe. This is happening in America. This is happening in Britain. This is happening all across the Western world. But like because of German guilt, because Germans, the First World War and Second World War, it's happening a lot faster in other words. Like Angelina Merkel says to other countries, you have to take this and this much immigrants inside your country. Are you okay with this? And if you say no, you are a racist. If you say yes, then you are a good person. But like Angelina Merkel really wants to push the limits because she's feeling it so bad. She's bought this cultural Marxist idea so hard. But people are coming behind. People are saying that yes, let's take as much immigrants as we can. Let's make Deutsch open, multicultural. We are modest. Help weak and poor. Help nobles. Be tolerant, except for these enemies, these nationalist pigs. And say it clear, say it loud. We are proud of not being proud. And human dignity is unimpeachable, so that everyone should have the human rights. Everyone, even if we basically maybe don't have enough money to support all the people in the world, we should really be nice and support all the people in the world, or basically die trying. I think, I don't know, but so in the end there is this small girl. It's something that feminist and cultural Marxist and all these people, they really like to use small children to deliver propaganda. But here is that basically because we've seen these riots, and for example Sweden have had a lot of rapes because of immigrants and these immigrant rights or whatever, then like that. Why do you complain? They are fucking human beings, like you and everyone else. Have you heard of the categorical imperative, asshole? Read Kant Kunt. So, one thing that I really believe is the categorical imperative, that you should really treat others the same as you. It's the same thing that you can find in Bible. But I have to start thinking in my life now that you have to only take it to an extent. Like it works in Finland if we are basically same kind of society and same kind of beliefs and such, but does it really work in this multicultural setting? And if you open just all borders, it's free for all, then can you just turn the other cheek, as Jesus would say? Can you just love each other like you would love yourself? And if you want to go biblical, God above everything. But if you just want to go with the categorical imperative, as Kant says it, then just forget the God. But please, God, don't let cultural Marxists win. That's the only thing I ask. Please don't let them win.